Greetings, GISD community. This is Dr. Stewart with our final student spotlight. Today, I have Lyndsie Tan-To, valedictorian of the class of 2025 here at Gainesville High School. Lyndsie, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, thank you. Well, I just first of all want to say just thank you for joining me and allowing me to get to know a little bit more about you, but to also congratulate you on being named the valedictorian. That's a huge, huge honor.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, let's jump right into our questions. Okay. So tell us about yourself and your family.
So I live with my mom and I live with my brother. My brother is currently going into the medical field. He's taking online classes for college, and my mom is working to pay for college and school for both me and my brother. And I know she really likes to go gardening at home, so that's always fun to see.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. So, Lyndsie, how long have you been a student in GISD?
I've been here all 4 years. I came in as a freshman from St. Mary's, and I've just been here ever since.
Okay. So, throughout your high school career, your 4 years here in Gainesville ISD, I know you've had several teachers along the way. Who has been the most memorable teacher throughout your time here at GISD?
I would say my most memorable teacher would be Miss Perkins. I know I also wrote an entire little speech for her for the Shining Star banquet. I mostly think of her as the most memorable because I'm in her class a lot, and she's really helped me out throughout my entire time here, and I'm also friends with her daughters.
Okay. And Mrs. Perkins has done a great job for us here at Gainesville High School. So it comes as no surprise as, hearing her being mentioned in that light as most memorable teacher. So what has been the highlight of your high school specifically?
My highlight, I'd probably say many of the experiences that the high school has been able to give me, because I know in middle school we didn't get to do all that much and we were all forced to go into certain classes. I like the electives and how I was given the options on what kind of career I wanted to go into, and some of the experiences like going on field trips for extracurriculars and all that was a really big part of that, because I didn't get to do that before. So.
And that's one of the things that we pride ourselves in Gainesville ISD is providing kids with opportunities. That those opportunities and the exposure to then give you information to allow you to make a more informed decision on, any particular career path that you may be interested in. So I'm glad to hear you mention that. So now, on the flip side of things, what has been your most challenging time in your 4 years here in high school?
My most challenging time, I wouldn't say it's directly the high schools what challenged me. It was mostly a me problem, because I know I'm not that good with English, so I have been in a lot of hard times just writing English papers, especially since now that I'm taking English college, I'm writing English papers, essays, almost every single week now, and I know that's been a trouble for me.
Well, for you to achieve what you've achieved, that tells me you're doing very well in it. And there's no doubt in my mind that as you continue to practice and you continue to write, that you're only going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. So keep writing, all right? All right. So were you involved in any extracurricular activities here in high school?
Yeah, I was a part of quite a few extracurriculars. I know that I've been in Key Club. I was officers for them. I know for my first 2 years I was also a part of student council. I'm a part of NHS. I'm a part of the art club here too, and I know that we recently introduced the robotics club, and I was a part of that too, which were all great experiences. I had a lot of fun with those.
Well, it sounds to me like you're a very, very busy young lady. Okay, so what are your hobbies or interests outside of school?
I know I like reading comics when I'm outside of school. I also do crochet, so I have entered some of my crochets into art competitions before, and I mostly like hanging out with my brother and talking about our shared interests.
Okay. So now as you begin to really start to eyeball college, How has your experience at Gainesville High School prepared you for college?
I think Gainesville has helped me most in my preparing for college through like the dual credit classes because I'm actually taking college classes, seeing how those work, seeing what I would need to do when I actually go to college, and like looking at college, it helps to know that I need to go look at syllabuses, talk to my teachers because I know they can't always like talk to me in class, and just like how to handle online college classes has probably helped me the most.
Okay. So, what advice would you give to students to help them maximize their educational experience at Gainesville High School?
I'd probably say to help students in high school is to talk to other high school students and like maybe talk to like students who are older than you because they know what's going on, they can help you out because sometimes when you're talking to teachers, they will be telling you about what they know and sometimes it takes like an insider's perspective to know how to go through high school in a way that would help you the most.
Absolutely. And I would say, Lyndsie, as you prepare to transition to college, I would encourage you to do the exact same thing. You know, as you transition into college and you begin to, meet your network of friends, people that are in your classes or whatnot, I think it's many benefits to talking to someone who may have been there maybe a year or 2 years, longer than you, to really kind of help you understand the dynamics of the university that you're attending. These are the do's, these are the don'ts, these are my recommendations, etc. Because I know for me personally, when I went to college, my college was a couple hours away from home, and I had one classmate of mine that went to the exact same college. So, me and her were kind of, we were inseparable because we didn't know what we didn't know. Mm-hmm. And then as we began to meet friends and older friends, they began to kind of help tell us and walk us through, the do's and the don'ts of the college world. And those were experiences that greatly helped me to be successful in college. So I strongly encourage you to do that exact same thing as you transition off to college. Okay, so what are you going to miss the most about being in high school?
I probably miss the most is the people here, the teachers and my friends, since I've really enjoyed like hanging out with them and just goofing off, doing whatever we wanted to do in high school. So I'd probably miss that the most, just the people here.
People are awesome. People are awesome. All right, Lyndsie, my next question is a two-part question, okay? So when you look back to your freshman year at Gainesville High School, what advice would you give yourself? And what is something you wish you would have known or done differently?
Well, for that second part, I'd probably say what I wish I'd done a little bit differently is probably like my associate's degree because I didn't know at the high school we offered an art associate's and a science associate's. So I kind of wish that I went and did the science associate's instead of the arts associate's a little bit. And to give myself a little bit of advice, I'd probably say to go talk to like more people is probably in general what I'd say to my past self, just because I know I'm very terrible at like interacting with people and like trying to like build up those communications that we can talk regularly with other people.
Okay. So now fast forward, looking at college, what are you looking forward to the most as you transition into college?
What I'm probably looking forward the most to when I go to college is maybe like clubs and like just exploring the campus, just because I like going and just like finding out things, seeing what's out there, just in general, just like wandering about on campus, seeing what they have to offer.
Kind of exploring a little bit, exploring the college campus and really taking in going to college. I mean, I'm telling you, there's something to be said about truly enjoying the college life. And I say enjoying it as getting to know your university, the different organizations, clubs, etc. I think it plays a critical part in one's overall experience at that college level. So I'm glad to hear you've mentioned that. So, as the valedictorian, I mean, what was your reaction when you found out what your class rank was?
When I found out my class rank, I was actually pretty surprised that I ended up being valedictorian. And then I directly after, I was kind of like dreading writing my speech that I have to go write, just because I don't like writing or like speaking in general in like front of like an entire group of people. So I knew that I didn't like that, but I was like really happy about getting valedictorian.
It's an awesome accomplishment, and again, congratulations again. So, where will you be attending college in the fall?
I'm a little bit undecided, but I'm most likely going to UTA when I go to college. Is either that or I'm going to head to UNT if I decide not to go to UTA.
Okay. What do you plan on studying?
I'm mostly planning on studying business and computer. I don't know exactly what I want to do in either of those fields, but I know that I like both those fields, so I'm going to just go to college, see what they have to offer, and see where I fit best in.
And both of those universities, by the way, are good universities, University of Texas at Arlington and University of North Texas. Why did you choose those two locations? Was it because scholarship monies, locations? Why did you choose those two schools?
I'd probably say I chose those two schools mostly because the location and the cost were best suited for me and my family to just head there, and it'd be a reasonable distance away so I could still see my family.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Lyndsie, the last question I have for you is a two-part question. And then that question is, what are your short-term goals and what are your long-term goals?
Well, my for sure short-term goal is to finish my college English essay that I need to be writing and finish out my high school year strong as I head into graduation in college. Probably like keep up my grades for right now. And long-term goals, I'd probably say working through college and finding a job and what kind of career I want to do that would fit my lifestyle the best.
Okay. Well, Lyndsie, there's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind that you'll be highly successful in whatever career path you select, okay? My biggest thing is when you become big time, don't forget about us small town people here in Gainesville, Texas, all right?
Okay.
All right. So that officially concludes all of my questions, and thank you for allowing me to ask you all these questions and get to know a little bit more about you. I like to always allow my students to ask me a question if they have one. So at this particular moment, do you have a question for me?
I probably asked you, how did you handle the transition between like becoming an adult, going to college, and getting a job in general? Just because I know I have no idea what I'm doing.
For me, you kind of spoke to some of the things that I went through when I was in your shoes. I was a basketball player, so I was going away from college. I went to Sam Houston State initially out of high school. And for me, I had to, when I got onto campus, there was a lot of responsibility placed upon me. No longer did I have my parents to wake me up and say, hey, get ready for school, or I didn't have mom there to cook for me. I had to go to the cafeteria, or, if I had some extra money in my pocket, I could go get something to eat at a fast food restaurant or whatnot. But I had to take care of that, along with, the things that you really don't think about. Something so simple as washing your clothes. Mom is not there to wash clothes. I had to wash my own clothes and make your bed and all that good stuff. And initially, I struggled with that because I was so dependent upon my mom, telling me what to do. And it quickly dawned on me, probably about halfway through the first semester, I guess the light bulb clicked on. It says, okay, and I had a couple pep talks from my mom along the way because I had gone home a few times. And, she just kind of nailed the point home is that, hey, I'm not there. You need to make it happen. And, moms have a special kind of way, especially of talking to young men. At least my mom does. And so at that point, I really realized what needed to be done and then set a plan in place. To really get to know the campus, but also to take care of all those things that I had become so comfortable with my mom doing. And when I tell you, Lyndsie, once I got a grasp of that, I absolutely flourished. I met great people. I had my teammates, but then I also had friends outside of my teammates from all walks of life, and I thought that was the neatest thing for me. Being from Waco, Texas, all I knew were people from Waco. When I got to college, I met people from different countries, different states, different walks of life. And to me, that was awesome, to sit here and have a conversation with a classmate of mine who's from Sudan, and to listen to him talk about school in Africa. And then I talk about school, and again, this was his first time in the States when he came to college. And so that just amazed me. And I carried that on. Once I got through college, I continued those practices on into adulthood, I got my first apartment, you got your first car note and you're paying bills and all that good stuff. And it's lessons learned from then that I still carry with me to this day. And, my college days and high school days are many years behind me. But it was those early lessons learned that have helped me to navigate the game of life, even as an adult, current day. So, I would say there's going to be trial and error. There's going to be things that you're going to be uncomfortable with initially, but eventually you'll find your rhythm, you'll find your stride, you'll find what works well for Lyndsie. And then at that point, then it becomes a matter of you just kind of fine-tuning and falling into that rhythm. And I'm telling you, those experiences will help carry forward as you transition into adulthood. But that's an awesome, awesome question. Lots of responsibility. I think you've proven to this point as our valedictorian, the responsibility piece, you got it. You can handle that. That's no problem. Now it's just all of the putting the other pieces together, outside of your home, with your brother and your mom, but now finding what works well for Lyndsie. Okay? Mm-hmm. Awesome question. Well, GISD community, Lyndsie Tan-To, valedictorian with the class of 2025 here at Gainesville High School.